Allegedly. So apparently we got some data of P. Diddy's private jet flying to the islands, which I'm about to get into. But first, let's talk about the whole raid. So you guys know recently on the news, P. Diddy's mansion got raided. No one actually knows exactly what for yet, if it is for the trafficking allegation, if it's for something else. His kids, he left his kids, y'all. His kids, and some other people are now in custody. But this is what went down and what was caught on camera.
Nope, just these the guys on the ground down there, the heavily armed officers that made their way inside. They actually are kind of just milling about or holding the perimeter, as it would be. The non-essential, you can see them making their way back over to these armored vehicles, probably doing a little debrief about what they saw. In any type of these situations, it really is, you know, you've got these armored officers that go in first, but I would venture to say the investigators or the people that know what they're looking for probably still out there on the streets, and they're waiting for that all clear to make sure that there is absolutely nobody on this property. And again, this is just a precaution. They don't want to have any kind of issues. Maybe somebody's hiding still, maybe just scared. And it, you know, doesn't have to be nefarious, and just because they don't know what's going on, and they just don't want to have somebody pop out of a closet or a bathroom or any one of these rooms while they're doing that investigation, and then other problems can ensue. So that's basically why we're seeing that large presence. They keep walking through there, and like you mentioned, this is an extremely large home, and probably with many rooms and little secret areas. So they want to make sure that everything is cleared before they allow those investigators in to start doing that investigation, whatever it is that they're looking for. But you can see a number of those officers making their way back into that major, this is the big main house, as it would be, making their way back inside. And I would venture to say that they're going to just go through every one of those rooms and make sure that there is nobody in there. I don't think they're those guys that we're seeing, guys and gals that we're seeing in those heavily armored gear and equipment, I don't think they're actually searching for any items that could connect whatever the investigation is. I would venture to say that those are going to be the guys that you're seeing right there, and they're waiting for that all clear. And then this group that you see there, those are the ones that are actually going to go inside. They probably have, like you said, they probably have ideas what they're looking for, where they might be. So, but right now, it is still a waiting game to make sure that everybody is out of this building and that it is secure for the investigators to make their way in and actually start that search.
And we should mention, thank you, Stu, that if this is in fact involving a sex trafficking investigation, we do know that according to Diddy's attorneys and the rapper himself, he has denied any wrongdoing in any of all this. So there are two sides, of course, to this as this all plays out. But it is interesting that these raids happening at the same time. According to TMZ, a raid of his Miami home is happening right now, as well as now we're looking at the live pictures of what's going on in Holmby Hills at this mansion right here, all connected to Sean Combs. So again, until we find out further word as to what exactly they're searching for and why, we continue to look at the procedures taking place regarding this raid that's being conducted by Homeland Security. You have support from local law enforcement officials as well. We saw from the ground shots, you see multiple agencies there a part of all of this, and they have a number of resources on hand with a drone flying up top, as well as they had ladders taking a closer look at certain parts of the property. And so they are looking at every nook and cranny they need to in terms of why they're investigating this home and property. So clearly this is going to take a while, and as Haley mentioned,
of course, Stu up there in Skyfox.
Thank you so much, Haley, for that perspective on the ground right there in front of that Holmby Hills mansion. Stu, up in Skyfox, it looks like, yes, there are some more law enforcement, but in different attire. Should I say suits instead of body armor?
Definitely, and you know, and we all know how that works. The suits are going to be the investigators and probably the ones that are running the show. And again, I still think that they are just waiting for that green light for them to be allowed to make their way inside the property and to make their way to the areas that I would venture to say that they probably are pretty specific. I don't think they're just going in randomly. And again, this is just a guess. I don't think they're going in randomly, just going through, everybody's stuff inside there. They probably have an area that they know, or an office that they're going to be looking into, or some computers that they might want to physically get their hands on, and that's what they're waiting for right now to make their way inside this property. This, like you said, very beautiful home out there in the Homely Hills area. And
okay, so a guy on Twitter, I don't know if this is the person that broke it, but this is where I saw it from. This Twitter page, it says, breaking. Private jet owned by Sean P. Diddy Combs has left the U.S. Combs' residence was raided by DHS in connection with trafficking investigation. The flight path of the plane appears to be headed towards Cape Verde, which is in Africa, by the way. I could be wrong, unless there's another island called Cape Verde. No extradition treaty with the U.S. If you actually look on the link that this person provided, there's a private jet. Now, I don't know if this is P. Diddy's private jet or not. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. But this private jet landed on, what's the name of this island? Antigua and Barbuda? Is that how you pronounce it? I'm probably pronouncing it completely wrong. But if you look on Wikipedia, they've actually had a treaty with the U.S. since June the 3rd, 1996. If you look on Wikipedia, the list of United States extradition treaties, Antigua and Barbuda is actually there. So technically, it's not really an escape. If anything, it would just buy him some time, I'm assuming, because they're gonna have to extradite him, and who knows how long that will take, right? The Shanquella Robinson case, that's taking, what, 10 years? You have 6 murderers allegedly running around USA, and it's been a year and a bit. And you have murderers walking around in the USA, and none of them have been extradited. And it seems like the law in the US does not care of sending these criminals to Mexico to face charges or to face court, etc. So that's a whole interesting case. So, and this is USA though, and they want him to go over there, so maybe the speed will be faster than delivering people from America to Mexico. So I guess it might be different. So I am curious how that's going to work out. And if this is his private jet, he legit left his kids in the States. He found out that way. Maybe he has an underground bunker that he escaped. I don't know how he escaped, but he managed to find out. I'm assuming he was probably out and someone called him up and said, hey, the feds are here. And he's like, yo, private jet, let's go. That's an assumption. But you think they would have that all organized and they will be there if they knew he had a private jet? But hey, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments.